Greetings and welcome to a video tutorial on Unity for Johnson County Community College. While the contents of this video will be largely relevant to anybody wanting to learn Unity, there are certain elements that are focused towards JCCC students, so just keep that in mind. The version that we are working with is 5.5. Do keep in mind our labs typically do not upgrade in the middle of the semester, so that will most likely be the version number for the entirety of the spring 2017 semester. When you first start up Unity, you will be presented with this screen. If you are not presented with this screen, that means most likely, if you are in the computer labs at least, that the person in front of you didn't sign out. Sign out for them, please. Now, of course, on your home machine, after you have signed in, it will just simply take you straight to the project selection screen. You do not have to sign in on campus. You can just click on Work Offline and it'll take you to the Project Select option. However, if you want to use any asset packages from the store, downloading any new packages from the store, or if you're using the collaboration features, then you must sign in. As I need to show some of those, I will go ahead and sign in now. Upon signing in or clicking Work Offline, you will be presented with a project selection screen on disk and in the cloud. Of course, if you didn't sign in the cloud will not work. This will show you a list of all of the projects that have recently been worked on this computer, which will typically be none or one project, depending on how the images are created if you are on the lab machines. Do keep in mind for the lab machines and for the in-class machines, they reboot forcibly every night and wipe clean all files that do not belong as part of the image. It is also recommended on lab machines that you reboot the machines so that way they are clean of your files and ready for the next student to use. If you click on In the Cloud, it will of course show you all of your cloud projects. This particular tutorial is going to focus on creating local projects, so I'm going to switch back here. Now, if you don't see your project listed here, you can of course click on the Open link, which will allow you to navigate through the file system to select a folder. Do keep in mind that it is a folder that you are selecting. You don't actually want to navigate in and try and find scene files, for example. This is not going to work. I'm going to go ahead and create a new project. Project name is also going to be your file name. So within this location, Unity will create a folder called local demo, and that is where all of my project folders will reside. The default location on the classroom and lab machines is in the My Documents folder. If you want to change this location, click on the ellipses, and you can change where you are going to create your folder. The 3D versus 2D option is largely a choice of convenience. A 3D project will assume that you want a perspective camera in new scenes and that you want to import your images as textures. A 2D project will assume that you want your new scenes with an orthographic camera and that you want all of your images imported in as sprites. These options, of course, can be changed within the editor. Adding an asset pack. If you know there are certain asset packages that you will need, you can go ahead and add them in at this time. This is particularly useful if you know that you have 3 or 4 packages that you will be importing, as you can just queue them up for automatic import and processing. As you download asset packages from the asset store, this list will expand to include the downloaded packages. However, on lab machines, you will only see the standard asset packages listed. Unity Analytics. By default, this is going to be on if you signed in. If you clicked Work Offline, you will not be able to set this. You do not want this on, you want this off. The reason being is that every single project that you create with analytics enabled is going to clutter up your dashboard once you actually want to go and look at your analytics. So you only want to enable your analytics for projects that you actually care about tracking data, which for the most part is not your school projects, with perhaps the exception of your capstone project. It is possible at a later date to enable analytics to a project, so I recommend turning this off by default. Clicking on Create Project, and it will do its magic. And now we have a new project. Of course, if I had queued up some asset packages for importing, those would be processing right now. Now, the computer labs and the classrooms will have Unity Pro, which means you get the nice non-eye strain inducing dark background. That is the only difference between the Pro versions on campus and the standard versions, which I'm using at my house and which you will most likely be using at your homes as well if you are working at home. You do not have to purchase Unity Pro for our program. It won't hurt if you do. We are capable, of course, of grading the projects. There is no difference, at least as far as student work is concerned. The only difference between the Pro and the other versions is some of the additional community functions. You get some higher limits and higher networking limits and such, but nothing that will impact our courses. That concludes this tutorial. So until next time.